Hey, what's up, everyone? What'd you think of those intro scenes? That's some of the scenery from here in Crested Butte, and where I was driving up into is one of my favorite places to camp around here. And there's water features everywhere, and you have to actually cross the river just to get back up into this gulch to where there's a bunch of streams coming down, and it's a big watershed. It's like this massive cirque, and so up there, the water is always running. And when I was at the Outdoor Retailer Show in June in Denver, I ended up hooking up with the individuals from WaterLily, and I told them where I was at, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a gardener for the town. I'm out in Crested Butte. I truck camp full time. I harvest energy, from the sun, and would love to maybe give your guys' product a shot and see how it works." And I've been using the WaterLily now for over a month. And I've been meaning to do a review on this, but like I mentioned in my intro video when I was talking about the 30 truck camping videos in 30 days, I've just been too busy. I've been slammed with work, but now it's starting to dial down a little bit. And so I definitely wanted to post this video about the WaterLily itself. So here's the turbine. It works in both water and then also wind. And my first impression of it when I got it out of the box, I was like, man, this thing's solid. I mean, it's heavy. It's good construction. What you hear right there of the stuff kind of or the metal kind of clinking around is actually the clips that they have that are, there's 4 of them, and they have these loops at the end. And so what I would do is I would take the 550 paracord that I had, and I just put that through there, and then I would have it in water like this, and the turbine would go and create energy. Now, it's kind of funny, the first time I put a video of this up on Instagram, I had the turbine backwards in the water, but it still worked, which was cool. So, but the guys messaged me from WaterLily. They're like, "Hey, turn it this way. Have the yellow pointing, towards the water that's coming downstream there, and you'll get a lot more energy flow." Now, one thing I wanted to mention with the construction here is on their website. If you go to waterlilyturbine.com, all this information's there. But I wanted to read you something from it as to the durability and design of this product, because I'll be honest, when I first saw this online, I saw it, I don't know, I think over a year ago. I thought, well, that sounds interesting, but I wonder if that's built well, because you just don't know until you get a product in your hands. I can tell you this thing's really built well, and here's why. So it says here, the unrivaled design and durability. WaterLily's patent technology was developed from subsea power harvesting research conducted over the past 10 years in the rugged North Atlantic Ocean. So you can bet that when you're buying one of these that you're going to get a quality product. Now, this model actually is the USB model. There's a USB port at the end here that I use to charge my devices. There's also a 12-volt model, which I'll probably be taking a look at since I'm converting everything over to the power station that I'll have in my truck with the Jackery 500. And then also, like, I've got the Dometic fridge, and then I'm going to have all that stuff going. So I think it'd be cool to be able to charge up that main battery bank, which is direct power. But I started looking into how many USB devices I have. I have 17 different USB devices that I operate with. So some of them are duplicates, like 2 headlamps, a couple different lanterns for the outdoors, stuff like that. So that way when one goes down, I can easily power one back up, and I'm not dead in the water back there. So this is really useful, and it comes with a really great. Let me grab this bag here real quick. It comes with this bag. Now, this bag is twofold. Number one, it's a really great way to carry this. So what I'll do is I'll put the WaterLily in the bag, throw it over my shoulder, and then walk to the river and throw this in the water and start harvesting energy. But it's also waterproof. And so there is a deal on the back here where a jack comes out, and this is a USB, little USB plug right there, which is great. And on the inside, I think I've got some video of this from the river, but on the inside, there's also the USB plug. So what you'll do is you'll take your devices, or your electronic device, you'll throw it in here, you know, plug it all in, and then you do like I think it's 2 or 3 different folds of this. It says on the top here, fold 3 times around stiffen. Run the stiffening blade, close the buckle. Yeah. So you do it 3 times, and then you close the buckle, and it creates a water seal. That way, if for some reason the cord here that comes out, you know, it's pretty long, but it could get maybe snagged on something, or maybe if there's some debris coming down the river, it might snag it and pull it into the water. And so WaterLily thought about that, and they thought, hey, we want to make sure those devices stay nice and dry. And so you've got this, which I'd recommend picking this up. I think it's an optional one. This is optional feature thing that you can purchase, but definitely get this if you're planning on getting the WaterLily. And going back to the turbine here, though, I did want to talk about, you know, my lifestyle. I'm truck camping full time. It's perfect for that, for van life, for any sort of, like, you know, if you do sailboat, if you go out and do boating, or I guess sailing is what they call it. I'm not really familiar with that, sorry. Any sort of like river guiding, stuff like that. Anything around water, anything around moving water. Because you have to think about it, it's 24 hours a day energy. And so the water, if the water is always moving, you can always harvest energy from it. And that's one advantage of having a turbine like this over, say, solar. Solar is incredible because you can harvest a lot of energy from it from the sun. You can do it, it's passive. You can do it while you're driving, especially if you have stuff mounted to the roof of your vehicle, or if you're in a cabin scenario and you've got them on your roof. But you know, what happens when there's monsoon season comes in and it's 7 days of nothing but just socked in weather and there's no sun? Or you know, at nighttime you're not harvesting any energy, but the turbine is, you know, especially if you've got it in the water. Now with the wind, we all know the wind ebb and flows, and so I wouldn't think that it would be as consistent. But with the river, you're 100% 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year energy. So that's something to consider, especially if you if you're living next to a river. Man, get one of these and throw it in there. Another thing too, there's 3 different ways to harvest energy here. I mentioned the river, and then also the wind aspect of harvesting the wind that's coming through. But you can also do a hand crank. And so they have a hand crank that you can put on here, and then you can harvest energy yourself. So if you're really in a bind and you need to get some energy going, then you can do that yourself and create your energy. Hey, sorry about that. The batteries ran out on the camera. I thought I could squeeze out the last 2 points that I was going to make before that happened, but unfortunately it shut off. So we're back, and the last 2 points I want to make is that I think there's very little maintenance, if any, involved with the WaterLily turbine. You have to think that what's coming through here to create the energy is wind or water, which doesn't create a whole lot of drag, and therefore there's not tons of friction. And I think the only friction in there would be the turbine itself, but it's designed so well that I don't think you're ever going to have an issue with it. And if you do, I would imagine WaterLily is really awesome about customer service. So that's one point I want to make. And the other point is about charging times. So if you have like an average river flow, it doesn't have to be raging or anything like that, just an average flow, the WaterLily, whether it's a 12 volt or the USB one, they will charge your devices exactly the same as if you had it plugged into the wall. And so that's a comparable kind of rule of thumb. If the flow's good, you can expect the same amount of charge that you're going to get at your house when you plug it into the wall. And I mean, I think that if you're in a scenario to where you're living close to running moving water, or if you live off grid, and like in my scenario, truck camp, to where you're always around running water, it's a no-brainer to get this, because you'll be in a scenario where you can't harvest sun, and maybe the truck battery is dead, and I need to get energy. And so this is going to be definitely a useful tool for me. And I've already used it for over a month. I mean, heck, look at the WaterLily bag. This thing's all scuffed up, and I've got marks all over. I don't know if you can really see it in the camera. I probably should have cleaned that before the video. But anyway, vouch for this company, and check out their website. The links are in the video description below. And if you have any additional questions for me on my personal experience, just message me, or put a comment in the section below, and I'll get back to you right away. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you all are having a good Labor Day. Take care.